This is a great example of how twisted people can become. And in this case, I'm talking about prominent conservatives who are absolutely twisted on the topics I'm going to mention here. And those topics are, well, GMOs and Big Pharma. Isn't it interesting that the same prominent conservatives, and by that I mean, for example, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, many others who are, prominent conservative personalities, maybe Laura Ingraham and so on. Some of them are on Fox News, some have independent radio shows, things like that. Most of them, with very few exceptions, are pro-GMO. They think that eating genetically engineered foods along with the poisonous herbicides that go with them is awesome. They literally think that's awesome. They don't have any problem with that. Not any problem whatsoever. And they think that they're citing science when they say, well, why shouldn't we grow more GMO food? These are the same people who attack the climate change hoax for being fake science, and yet they can't see the fake science behind GMOs. All the fakery, all the scientific bullying, the bribing, the paying off, the black ops campaigns that Monsanto has been running for years, the collusion of the media. I mean, these conservatives, they know the media colludes with left-wing politicians all the time. They talk about how the media colludes with certain scientists on climate change topics. But then when you say, well, don't you see the media is colluding with Monsanto and the biotech industry over GMOs? And they say, what collusion? What collusion? It's incredible. And it's the same thing on Big Pharma. I mean, Rush Limbaugh is so pro-Big Pharma, it's embarrassing. The guy is so clueless. I listened to a whole show of his the other day where he was making fun of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is this Latina woman. She's 28 years old. She won the primary in a kind of a Latino district in New York, right? She's a Democrat. And Rush Limbaugh is making fun of her, well, appropriately, I should say, because she is dumber than a rock, by the way. But Rush is making fun of her about how little she knows about socialism and how she thinks that everything should be free and the money should just come from out of the blue, I guess. And, she's pretty stupid, right? But Rush is making fun of her ignorance, and then he'll turn around like the next minute and he'll talk about why is the left attacking Big Pharma? Big Pharma, he says the left-wing people claim Big Pharma wants to kill their patients. And Big Pharma is awesome, Big Pharma is just trying to save lives. Nonsense. Rush Limbaugh is just as illiterate on Big Pharma as Ocasio-Cortez is on economics. And besides, it's not that leftists say that Big Pharma is trying to kill their customers. In fact, it's not even just leftists. It's anybody with common sense. We know that Big Pharma is trying to keep their customers sick but alive. Not kill them, Rush Limbaugh, but keep them sick and alive. Big Pharma, like any corporation, I mean, it's so funny. You hear Rush, it's like he doesn't know anything about how corporations work. Corporations need repeat revenues. Corporations need to maximize profits. So when it comes to Big Pharma, what are they selling? Treatments for disease. If they cure disease, their profits vanish. So even according to Rush's own logic about how corporations work, he should understand that pharmaceutical companies want to keep people sick. They want to create and market disease so that people think they're diseased, even when they're not, to sell them antidepressant drugs and restless legs syndrome drugs and all these other things. I mean, they maximize profits not by killing their patients, but by keeping them alive but diseased. And it's just amazing. Rush Limbaugh is so ignorant on this issue. He sounds like Ocasio-Cortez talking about economics. And by the way, there's only really one prominent conservative out there who is opposed to GMOs and opposed to the pharmaceutical madness and opposed to water fluoridation. I mean, I'm talking like a big time, big audience, household name conservative who opposes all those things. I mean, this guy opposes GMOs. He opposes Monsanto. He has been on the record speaking out about it for years. This guy opposes the mass vaccination of children with toxic vaccines. He opposes the Big Pharma's mass medication of the population with mind-altering drugs. And this guy He's not part of the establishment, and he is viciously attacked. He's attacked more than anybody else in media today. And you might be surprised to hear it, but the name of this guy is Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the only person who is a prominent, well, conservative / libertarian. He's not really a conservative. He's more of a libertarian. He's the only one out there who consistently exposes the crimes of the biotech industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the vaccine industry, the fluoridation scam, and he even warns people about 5G wireless and electropollution and all these other hazards. No wonder he is viciously attacked and lied about constantly, because he is, he reaches an audience of millions of people every day. His videos on YouTube have literally billions of views over the years, billions of views, until they're censored or banned. But he is the only one. I mean, he's doing what Rush Limbaugh refuses to do. Alex Jones is going after Monsanto. He's attacking GMOs. And so if you are, let's say you're a leftist listening to this, typically you would be opposed to GMOs. You would be opposed to Big Pharma, mass medication. You would be pro climate change. I mean, pro theory of the climate change. You're pro environment, let's say that. And you want, less carbon dioxide in the world, and you want fewer applications of pesticides and herbicides and so on. Well, the truth is, among all conservatives out there, Alex Jones actually more closely matches your belief system than anybody else. He doesn't fall for the climate change hoax, and as I don't either. But Alex believes in independent personal liberty, and he believes in health freedom, and he believes in food freedom. And he never gets credit for this because he's always getting attacked for things that he didn't do. Like this video that shows some other guy shoving a child, by the way, who was punching the guy in the face over and over again. It was like some 11-year-old punk kid that was just kept hitting this guy in the face with his fist. And the guy who's like in his 20s eventually just shoved the kid away, and the kid falls down and starts screaming and crying and playing the victim. And Alex was utterly lied about. They said that the guy doing the shoving was Alex. It wasn't Alex. It wasn't even filmed in Texas. It was filmed in Ohio or somewhere. Alex actually made the video famous by promoting it and talking about it. He's not in it, and yet the media just fabricates it. They lie about him. And you know why they target him? It's not just because he's pro-Second Amendment, by the way. It's not just because he's pro-Trump. I know that the reason Alex is really targeted, because of course I'm targeted for the same reason, is because we both oppose GMOs, mass over-medication, mass over-vaccination, and the fraudulent science of the sick care industry, the for-profit sick care industry, which is more dangerous than the Russians by far. You know how many Americans are killed every year by FDA-approved pharmaceuticals that are dangerous, that have been fraudulently approved by the FDA? It's, at minimum, this is based on the research, at minimum it's about 100,000. Other estimates put it at over 200,000. 240,000 is one estimate. And those are pretty old. Those are like 10 years old numbers. Realistically, right now in America, there are probably at least 250,000 people every year who are killed by FDA-approved prescription drugs. And when you put together all the suicides from the psychiatric drugs, and you put together, the heart failure, the liver failure, the kidney failure, the internal intestinal bleeding from NSAID drugs, the painkillers, the opioid epidemic, we know the CDC has released those numbers. It's about 60,000+ every year just from opioids. And you put it all together, including antibiotics and superbug infections in hospitals caused by the antibiotics. It's easily over 250,000 people a year in the United States alone. And where is the outcry over this? Nowhere. Instead, the media focuses on saying Alex Jones is an evil person because he shoved a child, even though he didn't. But they'll never talk about Big Pharma killing 50,000 children a year, or whatever they kill, and causing autism and causing neurological damage. That is never in the news because the media is a joke. The media doesn't engage in anything resembling journalism. They will ignore massive, almost genocide-level problems like Big Pharma and herbicides and pesticides causing mass Alzheimer's and dementia and cancer and infertility all across America. And they will whitewash that. They'll sweep it under the rug. The media won't say anything about that, but they'll say, oh, Alex Jones is full of hatred because he posted a video that criticized radical Islam and said that this radical Islamic Muslim terrorist was a radical Islamic Muslim terrorist, and that's hate speech. You see, that's how insane things have become. And, in full disclosure, I get to talk to Alex off camera in person from time to time because I'm there at his studio. I'm a guest often. Sometimes I'm a fill-in host. I even have a show on InfoWars. It's called Counterthink. It airs every Sunday at 6 p.m. at Infowars.com. You can also watch those episodes on the Counterthink channel at real.video. Just go to real.video/channel/counterthink. You can see all the episodes there if you want to see them. But, I just disclose that because I want you to know I actually have more access to Alex Jones than any of these people criticizing him. I was talking to Alex's son the other day, Rex, just having a chat with him in the studio. And I see the reality here, which is that Alex Jones is more outspoken and doing more important work to raise awareness and save lives than anybody in the so-called mainstream media. CNN promotes pharmaceuticals, promotes antidepressant drugs. They promote GMOs and chemicals that kill people. CNN is a disgrace, not just to America, but to humanity. And it's people like Alex Jones who are out there raising awareness and trying to save lives and actually teaching people how to be healthy and how to avoid the toxic poisons that are pushed by these powerful corporations and the complicit left-wing media. So that's something to think about. You may even think about Alex Jones in a whole new light, knowing this, because everything I just told you is 100% true. So thanks for listening. Hear more of my podcasts at real.video. My channel there is called HR Report for Health Ranger, HR Report. And of course, read my website, naturalnews.com. Thank you for listening.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.